All right, ladies and gentlemen, the event is about to get underway. If you can, in the next 3 minutes, please find your seats.
Good evening, everyone. So good evening and welcome to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation's 2023 Scholarship Celebration. Bonsoir et bienvenue à la remise de bourse de la Fondation d'éducation médicale du Nouveau-Brunswick. We are so excited that you are all here this evening. Before we begin, we'd like to do land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional unceded territory of Wolastoqet, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which these nations first signed with the British Crown in 1725. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqet title and established the rules for what was to be ongoing relationship between nations. We pay respect to the elders, past and present, and descendants of this land. We honor the knowledge keepers and seek their guidance as we strive to develop closer relationships with the Indigenous people in New Brunswick. My name is Nicole Leblanc. I am a pediatrician, founder and medical director of the New Brunswick Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder Center of Excellence and the deputy registrar of the College of Physicians and Surgeons of New Brunswick. It is my great pleasure to join you this evening as tonight's Master of Ceremonies. C'est un privilège pour moi ce soir de vous accueillir comme maîtresse de cérémonie à cette très belle soirée de reconnaissance. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Sherry Wilson, Minister of Addictions and Mental Health, and Minister responsible for women's equality. Thank you for being here, Minister Wilson. Now let me begin by introducing tonight's hosts. Will the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation's Board of Directors and staff members please stand? The Board of Directors, Dr. Thomas Berry, Carol Chapman, Jason Downey, Michael Doyle, Bernadette Fernandez, Dr. Bob Fisher, David Eustis, Dr. Allison Kennedy, Nora Kelly, Nora Mallory, Don Mitchner, Dr. Jim O'Brien, Dr. Michael Simon, and Dr. Manju Vorma. Thank you very much for your contribution and generosities. Also, we have Elisa Long, Executive Director of the Foundation, and Natalie Boyce, the Foundation's coordinator. Thank you also very much for being such generous hosts this evening. Before we get underway, I have a few housekeeping notes to share. First, please take a moment to locate the nearest exits in case of an emergency. You will notice that there are camera crews present this evening. This event is being live streamed to the Foundation's Facebook and YouTube pages. This is part of an initiative to ensure tonight's ceremony is as accessible to as many New Brunswickers as possible. In a similar vein, we invite you to take pictures throughout the ceremony and the following reception. If you tag the Foundation, we will be sure to share your posts. Finally, we have an activity for those joining us here in person. Every donor to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation receives a handwritten thank you note. We have left a blank card at every place setting. If you're so inclined, please help us to add to our supply. Using the pen provided, take some time over the next hour to draft a short message of thank you and sign the card in front of you. Staff will go around after the ceremony and collect the completed cards. Handwritten notes are so appreciated, so please don't hesitate to make it personal. Thank you. thank all of you for being here to celebrate an exceptional cohort of future healthcare providers. Merci à chacun d'entre vous d'être ici ce soir pour célébrer une cohorte exceptionnelle de futurs fournisseurs de soins de santé. None of tonight's activities would be possible without our donors, many of whom are here this evening. Would the donors please stand so that we can acknowledge with a warm round of applause their dedication and generosity. Your generosity has provided so many of these students with the confidence, motivation, and financial security to pursue their dreams and make a difference in the lives of others. And now, please enjoy this brand new video from the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation.
The New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation is unique in New Brunswick and unique in Canada because what we do is we work to recruit and retain physicians, and we do this in an innovative way. We work with medical students from New Brunswick and provide them with tuition relief through return to service medical education scholarships. So what this does, it allows us to invest in these students, providing them with much needed financial relief, while encouraging them to find a place, to find a home and a practice in New Brunswick following graduation.
I've been lucky enough to receive funding for the past few years from the foundation, and it's been really helpful because medical school is very busy and there's not a lot of time for work or to do activities outside of medicine, so the financial burden really does accumulate, and so it's nice to have some local funding and some local support to help alleviate some of that burden throughout the journey of medical school.
What's happening is that a lot of our physicians who presently practice are retiring. So the imperative is to try to produce new young professionals at an increased pace. And the other trick is then to keep them in our provinces.
On average, a student pledges to return to New Brunswick for at least 1 year per each year financial support they receive. So when we give out 60 or 100 scholarships a year, we're securing 60 or 100 years of service, or the lifetime careers of 2 to 4 family physicians every single year that we support these students.
Now, there are a lot of New Brunswickers who do not have access to a family physician, and this won't necessarily buy you access to a family physician, but could ensure that your children and your grandchildren have access to primary care.
We've come so far in such a little time, and we have much, much further to go to ensure that future where all New Brunswickers have access to reliable, world-class primary health care. And to those who have not yet joined us on our journey, please consider it, because I can't think of any more valuable use of your time and attention, because we are making the world, making our province a better place together.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Carol Chapman, co-chair of the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation.
Thanks, Nicole. Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see everybody here, and in this gorgeous weather, in this gorgeous fall, so coming from across the province, I'm sure. So my name is Carol Chapman, and I am one of New Brunswick. I am one of the two of the chairs of the NB MedEd. And in the past, I used to say that the foundation was New Brunswick's best kept secret. Well, I think that looking around me now, I think that people actually have kind of figured this out. But I would say, and as Alyssa says on the film here, is we are the only province in this country to do this. And I think that that is in and of itself amazing. So thank you to all the contributors and so on, because they wouldn't stand up, but I know they're around the room. So over the past year, we have spent a lot of time sharing our story, that of a small private foundation working to enhance access to primary care and address a critical shortage of physicians in the province. We have seen an unprecedented level of success. So it's pretty exciting days, I would say. Much of this is due to the record contributions, and in April, the province of New Brunswick contributed $2.5 million to create the Department of Health Scholarship Fund, a fund that will allow us to award an additional $500,000 in return to service scholarships for the next 5 years, which is absolutely incredible. This will be an extraordinary impact on the lives of its beneficiaries, the patients that they will treat over the course of their careers, and it is more than double the Foundation's award capacity in one single year. So to the province and its representatives here tonight, thank you immeasurably. It's amazing. The impact of bringing a single family physician to a community is powerful, which we all know. Needing such, partnerships with doctors. They allow families access to primary care and peace of mind. Employers stand a better chance of growing their workforces and attracting and keeping these employees. We can ease the strain on our emerge rooms and clinics. And our province is better positioned for growth. And as we've seen with a lot of newcomers and so on, it's exciting times, but we need more and more family physicians. Over the years, our unique program has delivered fantastic results. We have 44 program alumni now practicing in the province that may not be here otherwise, and more than 250 pledges from current students and residents to return to New Brunswick. Tonight, we are recognizing 128 exceptional scholarship recipients and the future of healthcare in this province. We have come a long way. Unfortunately, there is a long way to go. Today, our communities face additional challenges. Our population is growing, which means provincial wait lists are growing, and we are recovering from a global pandemic, which it's all nice to see everybody face to face. But there continues to be opportunity for us to make a difference here. This year, we more than doubled our award capacity, and still the demand from qualified applicants outpaced our ability to give. So we could give more because we have more applicants. We want to grow the foundation to a point where we can support all New Brunswick medical students who are willing to commit into this province and to New Brunswickers. We have a unique model, as I mentioned, the only one in the country at this stage, with proven success. You can help in several ways. You can continue to attend events like this scholarship celebration. Recognizing the accomplishments and the talent of the medical students is really core to our program. You can help raise awareness. Tell your friends, loved ones, and colleagues about the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation and join the mailing list. And as we said, go online, have a look at all of the new assets and things that we have to really build the voice. And consider supporting us financially. However you are able, we want to collaborate with you and share the passion for healthcare. There are so many ways to become involved, and we all benefit from investing in tomorrow's healthcare. If you could just help us, you could speak to me, any of the team tonight, Alyssa, obviously here, a lot of our board members and so on. But thank you again for joining us tonight. It's an exciting time to see all these young faces, our new physicians in waiting, so to speak. And I want to specifically recognize the donors. Your generous support is really the reason that we're here. And congratulations to all of the scholarship recipients. It has been a pleasure to meet many of you, and I hope that we'll mingle about and I can meet more of you. And I wish you the very, very best of luck with your studies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol. Dr. Michael Simon, the second of our co-chairs, could not be here this evening. However, he did provide us with a short video message to share with you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation's annual scholarship event. My name is Dr. Michael Simon. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend tonight's event in person, but I want to wish every one of the scholarship recipients sincere congratulations. And to our donors and guests, I also wanted to thank you for being here. Before we dive into tonight's proceedings, I would like to share a few thoughts with you related to our mission and vision. We all understand that providing timely and quality health care is difficult. It's difficult for the physicians working extended hours, and it's difficult for patients who need access to that care since illness does not stick to a 9-to-5 schedule. This year, healthcare in our province has seen its share of challenges. Physicians witness the struggles every day, and I'm sure many of you know someone who has not been able to access care in a reasonable time. That is, when they need it. The list of orphan patients has gotten longer. The ability of patients to access after-hours clinic and emergency room care has diminished. Everyone has seen the results of staffing shortages in the form of emergency department closures. There have been physician retirements, both family doctors and specialists. As of April 2023, more than 45% of New Brunswick family doctors are over 50 years old. To prevent these challenges from getting worse, and indeed, to reverse these changes, we need a strategy to see New Brunswick medical students stay and practice in this province. Since 2010, the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation has defined that strategy. Since 2010, we have offered return to service bursaries that have kept our graduates at home. This has allowed world-class medical students to put down roots and serve New Brunswickers' medical needs. It is by far the most successful recruiting initiative that this province has ever seen. But the need is great and the ask is even greater. And thanks to you, the response has truly been fantastic. Only through your hard work, through your donations, and through your altruistic nature have we garnered a measure of success. The work goes on, but if we put our shoulders to the wheel and push together, we will see continued success. We have recently published a new physician impact report, one that quantifies the economic footprint of healthcare in New Brunswick. While there is always a case for investing in healthcare and delivering quality healthcare services, it's nice to know there is a business case behind the work we do, both as medical practitioners and at the foundation. Healthcare is a top employer and an economic driver across New Brunswick. It is the largest employment sector in over 100 New Brunswick communities and generates over $1 billion in annual provincial tax revenue. A single family practice boosts provincial GDP by $285,000, provincial tax revenue by $74,000, and municipal tax revenue by $13,000 annually. Our foundation presents a unique situation to physician recruitment, raising funds to provide scholarships to students who stay and practice in New Brunswick. There is no comparable organization in all of Canada. It's a system that lets everyone win: our future doctors, our patients, our donors, and our communities. It also means a great deal to existing physicians to know that their patients and practices will be in good hands when they retire. So I want to say thank you to all attendees for your commitment to New Brunswick, and I want to wish everyone here a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Simon. Tonight would not be possible without our generous sponsors, Mrs. and Mr. Faye and David Hustis, AstraZeneca, Wells Private Wealth Management, and J.D. Irving Limited. To speak to his commitment to improve healthcare in New Brunswick, please welcome Mr. David Hustis to the stage.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, scholarship award winners, and your families. Good to see you all here tonight. On behalf of the Hustis Insurance Group's 14 offices throughout New Brunswick, congratulations to each and every one of you, our special awardees. In some of the communities we serve, our customers don't have a family doctor. They have to travel many kilometers to seek appropriate medical care. It's the fervent hope of our foundation that as tonight's and future awardees take the Hippocratic Oath, that each New Brunswicker will each have their own family doctor. We are very blessed to live in Canada, to live in New Brunswick. And may we all remember Mother Teresa's words, service is the rent we pay for occupying space on God's earth. And in closing, I'd like to thank two people. The first is Dr. Nicole LeBlanc. You've already met her, and we're glad to have you here tonight. And thank you for all the support the physicians give us, and for the province of New Brunswick, a special thanks for the contributions you've made, and for 5 years hence. That's amazing, and thank you very much. And then secondly, if I may, I'd like to thank Alyssa Long, our executive director. Alyssa's been with us about a year. Your enthusiasm, your work ethic, and your commitment, they've been truly extraordinary. The foundation is having its best year ever, and in no small measure, thanks to you. And you also know during this year you have a new young daughter, and that you've done all this with her too. So congratulations to everybody. It's a wonderful night, and thank you for what you do each and every day.
Thank you very much, David. Please welcome now Fraser Wells of Wells Wealth Management.
Thanks, Nicole. So, over 1 million in scholarships. Wow. How about a round of applause for crossing through the 7-figure mark? Huge. That will amount to a lot of New Brunswick doctors. So I would never hope to require medical care in the hospital or otherwise, but when, not if I do, in the future, I'll certainly be in good hands with many of you. On behalf of our team, Wells Private Wealth Management of RBC Dominion Securities, we're thrilled to be sponsoring this event and another scholarship for the foundation. We've been working with the foundation for many years, since Dr. Don Craig brought the concept to fruition, and have been delighted watching the foundation's message spread throughout the province and benefit so many young, talented medical students. We would like to thank Alyssa, Natalie, all the amazing board members, all the volunteers that make the foundation flourish, so thank you. Reflecting on the past few years, in which the healthcare crisis in the province was front and center, we continue to believe strongly in the foundation's cause. We've seen considerable growth in the province's population, and believe in order for that growth and ensuing economic growth to continue, we need to have the healthcare system to support and grow with it. Speaking personally, I know several individuals in residency that have received scholarships over the years and plan on moving back to New Brunswick and making it their long-term home. The New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation is a strong contributor towards these success stories, and we look forward to seeing the positive impact of the foundation bring talented doctors home. So congratulations to all scholarship recipients, and I hope everyone enjoys the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fraser. And we also have a message from the team at AstraZeneca.
Hi, I'm Dominique Grenier, a member of AstraZeneca's Market Access Department. AstraZeneca is thrilled to offer our support for tonight's scholarship award ceremony. We have been honored partners of the foundation for nearly 13 years and are steadfast in our commitment to ensuring that our most promising students can pursue careers in medicine in New Brunswick. The mission of the New Brunswick Medical Education holds profound significance for AstraZeneca, as it positively affects the lives of those in need by empowering them to realize their full potential and pursue their career aspirations as future physicians. This initiative plays a pivotal role in retaining talent and expertise within the region, ultimately benefiting the entire population of New Brunswick through the arrival of dedicated new doctors, both now and in the years ahead. AstraZeneca champions this cause to ensure that the dreams of the students can be realized within the comfort of their home province and in a peaceful environment, all while striving for excellence in their studies to better serve the population of New Brunswick. We take pride in your accomplishments and hope that this support will significantly influence your journey as a medical student. Thank you.
Now we're getting into the core of the evening. So as previous speakers have noted, we have a record number of scholarship to award this evening. As we move into the awards portion of the evening, will Carol please join me on the stage to greet each recipient? I also invite the scholarship owners, the donors or representatives of each scholarship fund, if you are present, to join us on stage as your award is being called to congratulate this year's extraordinary recipients. Now, let's begin. The AstraZeneca Medical Scholarship, Dan Smith and June Go.
I knew he was a basketball player.
Thank you very much.
Getting stories up here. The Burton W. Eustis Memorial Medical Education Scholarship, Matthew McClellan. Yes. Bud and Rita Craig and Doctors Ron, Don, David, Brian Medical Education Bursary, Jasmine Ng. The City of Bathurst Medical Education Scholarship, la bourse d'éducation médicale de la ville de Bathurst, Gabrielle Gionnet et Josiane Comeau. The City of Dieppe Medical Education Scholarship, la bourse d'éducation médicale de la ville de Dieppe, Sébastien Leblanc. Some are here and some will receive the honors afterwards. The College of Physicians and Surgeons of New Brunswick Medical Education Scholarship, la bourse d'éducation médicale du Collège des médecins et chirurgiens du Nouveau-Brunswick. I would invite our new registrar of the college to please come up, Dr. Potter, to present. She's my colleague and partner at work. Adrien Boutiaoui, Amélie Leblanc, Caroline Ouellette, Sweta Jayachandran, Cameron Crowell, Annika Boucher, Taylor Wilson, and Jill Allen. A lot of the students are studying this evening. David and Faye Eustis Medical Education Scholarship, Oh, we have one. Yes. Whitney Shannon. Don and Jane Michener Medical Education Scholarship, endowed by the Honorable Michael Mayen and Kelly Mayen, Josiane Stadler. The Dr. D. Norman Gary Memorial Medical Education Scholarship, Sam Palmer. The Dr. Donald A. Craig Medical Education Bursary, endowed by the Friends of Christopher Foundation, Kendra Iba. The Dr. Frank and Audrey Wanamaker Medical Scholarship, Joanna Polterowicz. The Dr. H. Miller McSween Memorial Advanced Medical Education Scholarship, Natalie Joku. The Dr. Isaac Killer Fair Advanced Medical Education Scholarship, Crystal Stewart. The Dr. Paul and Gail Sohi and Family Medical Education Scholarship, Joanna Polterowicz. The Richard V. Snow Medical Education Bursary, endowed by the J.T. Clark Family Foundation, Sarah Penny. The Dr. Sorab Lachmedial Legacy Scholarship, endowed by the St. John Regional Hospital Foundation and the Heart and Stroke Foundation of New Brunswick, Morgan Nesbitt. The Friends of the Moncton Hospital Foundation Medical Education Scholarship, Laurent Martel, Corinne Brideau, and Dan Hanscom. The G. William McQuaid Memorial Scholarship, Hannah Grossman. The Greater St. John Community Foundation Medical Education Scholarship, Jade Caruthers. The Henrique and Wanda Toning Medical Scholarship, Joanna Polterowicz. The Horizon Health Network Medical Education Scholarship, Emily Weston and Caroline Gagnon. The John and Gillian Wallace Medical Education Scholarship, Sebastian Hubbard. The Ken and Holly Singh Tandy Medical Education Scholarship, Sadaf Anjum. The Knights of Columbus Medical Education Scholarship, Joanna Polterowicz. I do hope I pronounce your name right.
I'd say this is a pretty amazing gal.
The Margaret and Wallace McCain Early Childhood Development Fund, Robert Logie. The New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation Scholarship, endowed by New Brunswick physicians, la bourse de la Fondation d'éducation médicale du Nouveau-Brunswick, dotée par les médecins du Nouveau-Brunswick, Nicole Berry. The New Brunswick Scholarship Education Fund for Emerging Physicians, Katerina Levski, Riley Lockhart, Adam Beckett, et Félix Leblanc. The New Brunswick Medical Society Scholarship, la bourse de la Société médicale du Nouveau-Brunswick, Katie Luker and Lina Alquadi. The Pat Dara Memorial Medical Education Scholarship, Milia Ademouni. The Province of New Brunswick Medical Education Scholarship, take your time, Jennifer. La bourse d'éducation médicale de la province du Nouveau-Brunswick, Mansa Agbaku, Camille Mallet, and Katie Bonner, and Catherine Bossé. The RBC Foundation Medical Education Scholarship, Luke McDonald et Emma Dauphiné.
Wrong side.
Wrong side.
I'm with the foundation.
Do you want a scholarship too?
Sure, if you're giving them away.
The Regional Development Corporation Medical Education Scholarship, Madison Stevens et Maryse Gagnon. I just can't wait to have doctor in front of all your names. The Robert R. McCain Memorial Education Scholarship, Grayson Gould. The Scotiabank Medical Education Scholarship, Hadia Selwani. The Sir James Dunn Medical Bursary, endowed by the Friends of Christopher Foundation, Reagan O'Leary, Caitlin Gowlett, Mario Jones, Allison Cook, and Joshua Shanks. the Sisters of Charity of the Immaculate Conception Medical Education Bursary, Madison Harrington. The Steves Family Medical Education Scholarship, Thomas James Camp. The TD Toronto Dominion Bank Medical Education Scholarship, Alexis Ouellette et Sophie Landry. The Tim Cameron Memorial Scholarship, given by Horizon Health Network, Madeline Power. The Town of Rothsay Medical Education Scholarship, Patrick Butler. The Walter and Joan Flewelling Memorial Medical Education Scholarship, Ellen Dow. I would be remiss if I did not mention the Hatchett and Nicholas Medical Education Scholarship, which the Foundation was not able to award this year. This award is intended for an Indigenous medical or nurse practitioner student planning to practice in New Brunswick following graduation. We do hope to see a recipient next year. That concludes the first half of this evening's scholarship presentation, representing more than $506,000 in tuition relief. Let's have another round of applause for these wonderful recipients. We'll take a short break now to hear from two of our 2023 recipients. Please welcome to the stage Nicole Berry and James Paddle.
Okay, thanks for having me to speak tonight. What do you want to be when you grow up? That's a question we've all heard so many times, especially when we're younger. I think the first time I answered that question, I said I wanted to be a professional gymnast, which didn't last too long. But as we go and we experience new things, the answer to that question becomes more refined and more clear. And if we continue to ask ourselves questions, we may even change our mind along the way. My journey to medicine is not the traditional route, but I suspect that's becoming more of the norm these days. I didn't answer that question of what you want to be when you grow up as a doctor until I was in my mid to late 20s. And I'm glad I made that decision at this point. During my undergraduate degree, I began connecting clinical research, and I loved it. I had a passion for it, and that brought me to want to do a PhD in clinical research. But as I was there doing research, I was frustrated because I felt too far away from the patients that I was researching. I felt like there was more purpose to what I needed to do, and I wanted to use my interpersonal skills along with my research and make more of a difference on the front line. So at that point, I had to ask myself some difficult questions, and I ultimately decided to step away from graduate school, finish with my master's, but not continue to a PhD as I originally had planned. So I left Ontario, moved back to New Brunswick, and I even saw a counseling psychologist. I did some deep introspection. I thought about what's the right profession for me. I thought about all the pieces of the puzzle that I like to do, that my skills are, and I landed on medicine. And at that point, I'm not sure why it wasn't clear before. So I decided to start applying to medical school. And at the time, I was fortunate enough to get a job in research at the St. John Regional Hospital, conducting more clinical research, which I loved, of course, but it inspired me more to go one step further. So as I was working in research, I started studying for the all-dreaded MCAT. And given that I actually had 2 psychology degrees, some of the aspects of the MCAT were a little challenging for me, including the chemistry and physics sections. But I was determined that I was going to get through that test. So I studied diligently. I even audited courses at UMBSJ while I was working. I took MCAT prep courses. I got a tutor. And ultimately, I had to write the MCAT not once, not twice, 6 times. And no, I wasn't trying to go for the record, I promise. But I did make kind of a hobby of it. And the reason I wrote it so many times is at the time, Dalhousie had cutoffs for each section of the MCAT. And consistently, I kid you not, I was 1 point lower in the chemistry physics section, all 6 times I wrote it. Now, those cutoffs have since changed, and I would have only had to write it once, but the resiliency I learned along the way is something that I won't take for granted. Although I would have saved some money on those tutor courses and those test writing, but that's another story for another day. During this time, I was failing for the first time in my life consistently over 3 years. And despite that I had a great job that I loved, I knew there was more that I wanted to do. And each time I sat down to study, each time I gave up a personal event that I wanted to go to, I had to actually ask myself every time, is this really worth it? Is this really what I want to do? And the answer was always yes. And so in 2020, I got the email that I thought I was never going to get, and I got it. But not to what I thought I was going to get into. I got into Memorial University of Newfoundland and had to move provinces over to go to medical school during a global pandemic, away from my family, my partner, but I was ecstatic. Now in my 4th year, I can say that it was truly the best decision that I've made. Didn't think I was going to get emotional. Maybe it was the wine, I'm not sure. And I'm forced with new decisions that I'm making now in terms of residency and where I want to practice. And without a doubt, New Brunswick is in the top choices of my residency applications, and I want to stay on as staff later on. In coming and going and doing the job I had before medical school and through my clerkship training in New Brunswick, where I've been lucky to stay, I've seen so many exemplary healthcare professionals in this province. One word that really comes to mind when it comes to healthcare in New Brunswick is culture. And all the health professionals I've worked with have demonstrated allyship, compassion, and dedication. And they're really a team. It's a really collaborative effort. And I fit best in that atmosphere, and I think it's best to serve New Brunswickers with that atmosphere. New Brunswick is really setting itself apart in terms of collaboration with research and clinical clinical practice. And it's really serving New Brunswickers well, and is a great spot for learners and physicians alike. Having received the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation scholarship for the last number of years has been so appreciative. We have to, in order to show up for other people, for patients, in order to do our best, we need to take care of ourselves. And having received some financial aid from the scholarship has been so helpful in me taking care of myself throughout the last few years. The genius idea of the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation is one that is compares to none, as you've heard tonight, but it really, as a learner perspective, it really is helpful throughout the training process. And to recruit these amazing students to be physicians coming back to New Brunswick is something that is a genius idea. I'm thankful to be standing here today, and I'm humbled to be speaking because I know that New Brunswick has the best learners out there. And I'm happy and excited to serve New Brunswickers when I return as a physician in a few short years, well, months until I'm a physician, I guess. But I'm looking forward to it, and I thank you so very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Paddle, and I will be giving this address in both official languages. Merci à tout le monde qui a organisé cette belle soirée où on reconnaît les futurs médecins de notre belle province. I would like to give my appreciations to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation for helping me fund my studies and for inviting me to speak about my pathway to medicine and my community experiences. Pour débuter, j'habite à Dieppe et j'étudie la médecine à l'Université Sherbrooke au Centre de formation médicale du Nouveau-Brunswick à Moncton. I am now in my second year of medical studies. Every medical student has their own unique path to medicine, and tonight I would like to briefly describe my particular journey towards this amazing career and some lessons I have learned on the way. Ma langue maternelle n'est pas le français, plutôt c'est l'anglais. Ma famille est composée uniquement d'anglophones et je ne parlais aucun mot en français jusqu'à la 3e année, quand j'ai débuté mon éducation française à l'immersion. Pour avoir les meilleures opportunités professionnelles et éducationnelles à Moncton, ma famille savait que je devais être bilingue. Si je n'étais pas bilingue, je ne serais pas ici aujourd'hui. My family would have struggled to send me away from medical school and receive equal educational opportunities. It was not until the 10th grade that I became aware that there was actually a medical school in my home city. From then on, medicine was always in my mind as a potential future career, but it was not the only option. For a long time, I weighed the pros and cons of medicine, law, engineering, and teaching. After grade 12, I started my 2-year pre-med program at Université de Moncton because medicine seemed to be the most appealing career, but I was not completely sold on it yet. Mais c'était seulement rendu en printemps de 2021 que je me suis rendu compte que j'ai choisi la bonne profession pour moi, soit la médecine. Cette réalisation est grâce du fait qu'en printemps 2021, j'ai commencé à travailler dans les cliniques de vaccination contre le COVID-19. Je dois admettre que c'était un privilège de pouvoir travailler à la santé publique à un des moments les plus difficiles pour cette institution et pour notre province. De pouvoir aider les personnes à recevoir leur vaccin et retourner à une vie quasi normale était une expérience dont j'étais chanceux de pouvoir participer. Pendant mon travail, j'ai vu une équipe multidisciplinaire dédiée à faire un impact positif sur la santé de notre population. Et cela m'a fait penser que j'aimerais travailler dans un environnement similar. After working in public health, I transferred to the George L. Dumont University Hospital Center, where I worked first as an orderly and then as a nurse's aide in the surgical and cardiac ICU. It was an intimidating, yet very gratifying work environment. At first, I was taken aback by the level of illness, trauma, and suffering from these patients and their families, and everything they've been through. But I came to learn that indeed these patients are the most ill at the hospital, but they are also those who can most benefit from treatment and intervention we provide. J'ai appris plusieurs leçons en travaillant aux soins intensifs que je n'oublierai jamais. Another experience that I have been able to take part in is volunteering at Ensemble Moncton, which is a nonprofit organization that was established in the 1980s to fight the HIV and AIDS epidemic, but it has now transitioned to preventing spread of bloodborne diseases and stopping overdoses from illicit substances. Pendant mon bénévolat à Ensemble, j'ai eu 3 grandes réalisations importantes pour moi. Le premier soit la grande inégalité qu'une personne peut observer aux alentours de l'édifice de l'organisation. Il y a des grands bâtiments de condos luxe qui sont construits juste à côté des personnes qui sont sans abri et n'ont même pas des sous dans leur poche. En deuxième lieu, je me suis rendu compte que le gouvernement et la communauté ont besoin d'investir plus d'argent pour des organisations comme Ensemble qui font tellement de travail important pour nos communautés. Et troisièmement, c'est que le titre docteur ou étudiant en médecine ne porte pas la même connotation pour tout le monde. Quand j'ai commencé ensemble, lorsque les clients, les personnes qui utilisent les substances, me posaient la question « Qui es-tu? Tu fais quoi? » Je répondais que j'étais un bénévole et un étudiant en médecine. When I told the clients that I was a medical student, you could immediately see the change in their eyes. It was often an expression of fear and sometimes even disgust. As soon as I was associated with doctors, their barriers went up, and they were not at ease talking to me. The workers at Ensemble told me that these clients have been through many bad experiences with doctors. En conséquence, j'ai commencé à répondre à leurs questions en disant que je suis étudiant en infirmier. I told them I was a nursing student. La réponse était nuit et jour, it was night and day difference. Leur réaction immédiate était de joie et de confort, étaient ouverts à parler. They immediately opened up and they were very, very nice. I have learned to keep in mind the experiences and perceptions of different patient populations when practicing medicine. Il y a une dernière expérience que j'ai vécue dernièrement que j'aimerais brièvement discuter. J'étais chanceux de pouvoir passer plusieurs semaines cet été avec le Dr Marrero, neurologue à l'hôpital Georges Dumont à Moncton. Dr Marrero est connu par le public comme le médecin qui traite les patients souffrant de la maladie neurodégénérative inconnue. Pendant mon stage avec lui, j'étais témoin d'une croissance exceptionnelle de patients et patientes qui souffrent de symptômes débilitants et nous n'étions pas en mesure de les traiter et les diagnostiquer comme on le voulait. C'était très difficile de voir des patients qui souffrent et qui meurent sans diagnostic exact et de voir leur famille qui souffre également. I have learned that as a medical student and as a future doctor, I have to be an advocate for my patients even when it is difficult, even when I lack support and face pressure. Moi, je veux continuer à mettre en pratique les leçons dont j'ai parlé comme futur médecin. I'm still not 100% sure on what specialty I'd like to go into, but right now I'm kind of in between emergency medicine and trauma surgery. I'm very humbled to be here tonight and to be a recipient of the Department of Health Scholarship. And this scholarship, I'm very grateful because it will cover my university tuition and other expenditures for this coming year. And for that, I am very, very grateful. After completion of my residency, I really want to come back to New Brunswick and practice in the Greater Moncton area. And I would also like to take a moment to thank my mother, who is here tonight, because everything that I've said previous, she has made all of that possible for me. J'apprécie votre écoute, mesdames et messieurs. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you both for sharing your stories. Your stories are very touching and full of hope and inspiration for the future of healthcare here in New Brunswick. After 25 years of practice, I'm always inspired by the medical students, their unique journeys, and often they think that we are the teachers, but often they also teach us. Thank you. So in the second part of this evening, we are going to start with the Bell Alliance Medical Education Scholarship in memory of Dr. David Craig. The recipient is Connor Simon. In April, the province of New Brunswick announced a $2.5 million contribution to the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation. En avril, la province du Nouveau-Brunswick a annoncé une contribution de 2,5 millions de dollars à la Fondation d'éducation médicale du Nouveau-Brunswick. These funds were used to establish the New Brunswick Department of Health Scholarship, providing return of service scholarships to 63 students in 2023, totaling $500,000 in tuition relief. Will the team from the Department of Health please join me on stage to now recognize these recipients? This is a very long list. This is a very long list, so we will hold our applause until all the recipients are named. So the New Brunswick Department of Health Scholarships, les bourses du Département de Santé du Nouveau-Brunswick. Emily Vale, Emily Jarvis, Connor O'Brien, Drew Langell, Kevin Kostansky, Kiera Dolan, Kiha Kim, Logan Grossman, Martin Andrew Whitman, Michael Conley, Minji Choi, Victoria Lutz, Natasha Vatcher, Sayam Nur Mohamed Mohoudin, Sufian Faridi, Aaron Noel Gallardo, Alana Bonsack, oh, it's too quiet. I think we can give a round of applause for the first group. Alex Smith, Alexander McPherson, Anna Miller, Benjamin Peterson, Caitlin Harper, Brooke Lynn Richards, Chantal McLean, Devyani Ambwani, Aaron Andrew, Esther Yee, Gehai Young, Gabrielle Landry, Haley Burns. Another round of applause for this group. Kaylee Dugas. Laurence Basque. Marc-Francis Paquette. Mariska Silas. Natasha Leblanc. Olivia Luracle. René Daniel Godette. Shannon Maher. Simon Olivier Friolet. Sonia Nari. Véronique Alain. Véronique Duguay. Yanis Saheb. Yasser Al-Asmi. Abdelatif Geroud. Abraham Levin. Amélie Cormier. Angela Levski. Anna-Michelle Alain. Claudia Martin. Claudie Pelletier. Clément Degrasse. Damien Robichaud. David Leblanc. Erica Little. Florence Lévesque. Jade Pitre. James Craig Paddle. Jacob Saucier. Jeff Gressot. Joël Brideau. Julie Gallien. Et Maude Couturier. So thank you all for your patience. Once again, all the recipients, please stand so that we can offer you a warm hand of applause. Félicitations à tous nos bénéficiaires. Now please welcome Alisa Long, Executive Director of the Foundation, for final comments before the ceremony concludes.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. LeBlanc. And again, congratulations to all scholarship recipients. Thank you for your commitment to your studies, to service, and to New Brunswick. When I look at the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation and what differentiates us from other recruitment initiatives and other nonprofits, it is the strength of our data. We have a proven solution for physician recruitment that is unique to our province and to our country. And this wonderful solution, it has its own origin story, and that's one that I would like to share with you now. Staffing shortages in the healthcare sector are not a novel concept, and there have been many groups working to address this issue for years. These include government bodies, regional health authorities, municipalities, chambers of commerce, and grassroots community initiatives, and these are all valiant, valuable efforts. But often they have been siloed, regionally specific, and expensive, with sometimes varied results. In 2010, Dr. Donald Craig had a new idea: Having worked as a practicing physician for more than 4 decades, he knew both the vital role that family doctors and specialists play in the lives of patients, and that we were quickly approaching a critical shortage of providers in the province. He connected with the St. John Regional Hospital Foundation and proposed a completely novel concept. Rather than working to entice practicing physicians to relocate to New Brunswick, could we engage current medical students to commit to practicing here following graduation? And the timing could not have been better. 2010 was the first year that Dalhousie Medicine New Brunswick welcomed its first class. And so, the New Brunswick Medical Education Trust was formed as an entity of the St. John Regional Hospital Foundation, with Dr. Craig as its founder. Its role was to extend return-to-service scholarships to New Brunswick medical students, ensuring a pipeline of future physicians were ready to begin practicing in New Brunswick. In 2016, the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation was established as its own private entity, separate from the St. John Regional Hospital Foundation. Founding members included Dr. Craig, Dr. David Marr, and Mr. Ron Outerbridge. What was truly visionary about Dr. Craig's approach was that it was proactive in nature. We are engaging these talented, world-class future physicians here in this room and tuning in online early in their training and helping them to envision a future in St. John, in Bathurst, Caracat, St. Stephen, Riverview, or any number of New Brunswick communities where the need is dire. Together with our donors, we are investing in tomorrow's healthcare. It takes years to grow a doctor. If a student enrolls full-time, their education entails 4 years of medical school, followed by a residency program. Depending on whether they pursue a career in family medicine or a specialty, they will have an additional 2 to 5 or more years of residency program post-graduation. Further, by supporting students from New Brunswick, we are reaching a group already far more likely to settle here and providing them with additional financial incentive to do so. Most of our recipients have strong roots in this province. They have family and friends here. They volunteer here. They want to build a purposeful life here in New Brunswick. Our small, homegrown foundation has become a leader in provincial physician recruitment, and we have so much to celebrate tonight. By a multitude of benchmarks, this is a record year. And I think it's really important to recognize that tonight we stand on the shoulders of giants. While they couldn't be here tonight, I believe Dr. Craig, Dr. Marr, and Mr. Outerbridge are joining us online through the stream. And I'm wondering if you would please join me in celebrating these individuals with a round of applause and thanking them. We would not be here without their vision and their dedication and their spark, which has ignited into a fire, and we are celebrating that tonight, and I am so, so proud and so happy we are all here. If I could leave you with a final message, because I know our celebration is nearly at an end, I just would say this, that with the challenges our healthcare system is facing, I believe it takes a community to raise a doctor. The province has stepped up in a big way, and we are so, so appreciative. But as a group, we cannot rely on government alone to solve this crisis. It's going to take collaboration, dedication, and most of all, New Brunswickers helping New Brunswickers. Together, we can transform healthcare in New Brunswick and empower the next generation of primary care providers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alyssa. Congratulations again to all our recipients, and thank you to our audience members here and those attending virtually for your time and attention. Félicitations encore à tous nos bénéficiaires de ce soir et merci à vous tous, en présence et en virtuel, de votre participation. On a personal note, I will permit myself 2 small messages for tonight's scholarship recipients. One, as my dear friend and mentor, Elder Noel Melia from Elsipogtog says, you have been given a gift, the gift of healing. Always be grateful and respectful of your gift, and to those around you who make that gift possible, and it possible for you to continue on your journey as a healer. We are truly privileged to be physicians here in New Brunswick. So be grateful for your gift and for those around you. My second little message would be, take a few minutes to feel the pride that goes with such an honor this evening. Remember that behind that feeling of pride is a donor who gave generously and who believes in you, and the impact that you will have on the lives of the individuals living in New Brunswick. I hope that in 5 or 10 or 15 years from now, you will still remember this evening and that feeling of pride that you felt, that you will get involved in giving back, and that you will pay tonight forward. Again, the sponsors or tonight's celebrations are Mrs. Faye and Mr. David Hustis, AstraZeneca, Wells Wealth Management, and JD Irving Limited. Thank you. Many people contributed to the planning and execution of this event. In particular, the New Brunswick Medical Education Foundation's Event Planning Committee, including David Hustis, Don Mitchner, Nora Mallory, Natalie Boyce, and Elisa Long. In addition, we have enjoyed a beautiful venue and food courtesy of Delta Hotel St. John, AV and live streaming support by Encore, photography by Kelly Lawson, decorations provided by Spur, and graphics and video support provided by Brainworks. Thank you very much for all your support. For those here in person, please now make your way to the mezzanine for a reception. To those joining us online, thank you and have a wonderful evening. Merci et bonne fin de soirée.